Welcome to the Strategy Mob Podcast. Tune in for everything you need to know to stay in the know regarding the automotive industry. Here's your host, Jason Harris.
We hate to say it, but as an industry, look, we changed more in the last 5 to 6 months than we probably have in the last 40 years combined.
Right.
Like it pushed us, and the customer has always been changing, but as an industry, we kind of just still wanted to kind of hold on to that original control.
Sure.
And now, a pandemic kicks in and we have no control.
That's right.
Like as dealers, we have no control over this at all. And now we got to put that control back into the customer. And that kind of leads me into my next topic with you, which is just kind of the next transition from empowering your employees is that seamless online to in-store sales process, right? Again, we were kind of forced. And you know what? I actually have been criticized for maybe having too much tough love for our industry, but I'm going to give our industry props because we did this. Like we changed in 4 months, and we've been fighting it for the last 10, 15 years.
Right.
But I want to get your kind of thoughts on how do you see the seamless online to in-store sales process work now, and how is that going to work into the future?
Sure. Well, first I'll start with a little bit of philosophy, and then talk about the technology that's real world. So the first part of this is that customers actually enjoy buying a car in person. They really do. And it's kind of like food, right? I rather be in a restaurant than have take home food, but sometimes I got to do the take home. Never the same. Now, of course, there's parts of that process that no one really enjoys, including the salesperson or the staff. So the online aspect that has been forced upon us because of the pandemic has allowed dealers to get up to speed quickly. And I wrote an article, I think you kind of referred to it at the top of this interview. And that was, did COVID just deliver a knockout punch to dealer disruptors? And I think Ward's Automotive published it. And the whole idea was this, is that dealers sometimes are the last to the party, but they bring the best liquor.
That's a great way to describe it. That's awesome.
And there's billion-dollar tech companies out there that have been trying to get dealers to do digital online retailing. And they've struggled because dealers are slow to adapt until it's necessary, because dealers rely on cash flow, right? Hey, this works. I'm making money. I'm able to pay my employees. They're not like the Silicon Valley companies in Wall Street where they just run on revenue, even though they're bleeding cash out the back door. So, you look at like Carvana, which has done a fabulous job of waking people up of what's possible. Mm-hmm. But dealers can not only match Carvana once they have woken up, which has helped the pandemic, but dealers have the parts and service business. Dealers have the infrastructure already paid for typically. They don't have a lot of debt. Certainly the majority of good ones don't, unless they borrow it on purpose because interest rates are below 1%, and I'll borrow all the money I can.
Or their manufacturer forced them to because they have to remodel their dealership, which they just remodeled 5 years ago. Sorry, source subject.
Yes, and still paying for it. Yeah. So the beauty here is that dealers are fabulous close followers and often pick up the spoils of war. So a lot of the tech companies that said they were going to replace the traditional retailer model, are now partnering with large dealer groups to execute that technology. And actually those dealer groups are saving the bacon for these companies that were about to go out of business. And, Vroom, a lot of people say, oh, look at Vroom, they're going to crush the dealers.
That's a perfect example though. They're bringing process. They're bringing process and tech.
Absolutely. And guess who funded them? AutoNation and a couple other large dealer groups are the main investors. So it's odd that the tech companies that predicted the demise of the dealership world, an extinction of dinosaurs, if you will, are now having to partner with the beast that they thought was going to be extinct.
Thanks for tuning in to the Strategy Mob Podcast with your host, Jason Harris. Don't want to miss new content? Be sure to sign up to be a mobster at strategymob.com to stay in the know. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Happy podcasting.